The 11th thing I want to share with you is get information with regards to your prayer themes. This is so important. This is so important. You know, Nehemiah had questioned people first before interceding. In Nehemiah chapter 1, verses 2 to 4, Hanani, one of my brothers, came from Judah with some other men, and I questioned them about the Jewish remnant that had survived the exile, and also about Jerusalem. They said to me, those who survived the exile are back in the province, and they're in great trouble and disgrace. The wall of Jerusalem is broken down, and its gates have been burnt with fire. When I heard these things, I sat down and wept. For some days I mourned and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. So we see that Nehemiah first investigated. He first questioned people. He also examined the wall before rebuilding. Remember that part of being a watchman is building walls. And he examined the walls. In Nehemiah 2, verses 11 through to 18, he says, I went to Jerusalem, and after staying there 3 days, I set out during the night with a few others. I had not told anyone what my God had put in my heart to do for Jerusalem. There were no mounts with me except the one I was riding on. By night, I went out through the valley gate towards the jackal well and the dung gate, examining the walls of Jerusalem, which had been broken down, and its gates, which had been destroyed by fire. Then I moved on toward the fountain gate and the king's pool, but there was not enough room for my mount to get through. So I went up the valley by night, examining the wall. Finally, I turned back and re-entered through the valley gate. The officials did not know where I had gone or what I was doing, because as yet I had said nothing to the Jews or the priests or nobles or officials or any others who would be doing the work. Then I said to them, you see the trouble we're in. Jerusalem lies in ruins, and its gates have been burnt with fire. Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, and we will no longer be in disgrace. I also told them about the gracious hand of my God on me, and what the king had said to me. They replied, let us start rebuilding. So they began this good work. This is so important. He examined before he started building. Being a watchman is about rebuilding. And sometimes before we start calling others to come and watch with us, we need to study what the issue is. You see, get into the habit of studying the areas in which you are called to be a watchman. It actually gives you more fodder as you pray. You know, Pastor Vim, for example, can pray for extended periods over the situation in Ukraine, because she has studied it and she's listened to sermons on it and she's been to prayer meetings with regards to it. So if you get into the habit of deciding the night before what you are going to actually pray for in the morning, you can actually list the specifics of your prayer beforehand, and you can also carry out some research. It's better to do this type of preparation and then pray more effectively than praying amiss due to your ignorance. My wife is very good at getting people to be prepared before our prayer meetings, and she'll say, please, can you use some of these scriptures to pray? Please, can you do some research on this particular topic and come with your own scriptures, and we will pray. So let's make sure we also use our mind when it comes to praying, instead of just saying, I'll just flow, we'll just see whatever comes up. You know, being in relationship with people is not isolated from people will actually help you to understand their life situations. So you can also investigate about what people are going through. Yes, sometimes we'll just pray in the spirit over people, but it's so useful to know details about people's lives. You know, I gave this example in the Centurion Church last week, where I began to pray for the Manyungas, and I said, Lord, please help Tendai in this situation. Lord, thank you for the recovery that Miriro is experiencing after op. Father, we thank you for what's happening in Ano's life. Help him as he studies and help him to concentrate and so on. And Lord, help Chico while she's studying at Rhodes. And Lord, you know what she really wants to study. May you do this and this and this. Father, be with Maka. I could pray in detail for them, which extends the time of prayer for them. Why? Because I'm aware of some of the details in their lives. It's important to not be relationally isolated. You know, a lot of times people are like, I'm a praying person. I don't talk to anyone. I'm just a praying person. That's fine. But When you're connected with people, you tend to have more compassion for them and you tend to actually know where they're at, you see. So intercessors are actually more effective when they're part of a community. Find out their children's names and pray for them, by name, where you actually know, okay, this is Juan, this is Cindy, their children are Jaden, their other child is Shamir, their other child, their firstborn is Siobhan, and learn how to spell Siobhan because it's spelled in a funky way. But it's like that. Get into people's lives, get immersed in their lives, find out the details about the different power centers that you're praying for. What are the current affairs that are the particular power center is actually facing right now? What are the current issues that they're facing right now? Someone asked me recently, what do you pray about when you pray for many hours? If someone prays for 7 hours, what do they actually pray about? Let me tell you something. When you carry people in your heart and you're aware of the details of their lives, it actually takes a while to pray through these things. And sometimes you literally have to chunk people into categories where I know for example, Friday is the day when I pray for my friends. And I don't have just a few friends. I've got quite a number of friends in ministry who've got lots of needs right now. Okay, but I'll have another day where I'm praying for my family, my extended family, my siblings, their children, and their situations. All right. There'll be another day where I might be praying specifically for the people in our church and church leadership and so on. All right. Now, some of the information that you need in prayer may actually include looking at the calendar of meetings that you have on that particular day and praying specifically into your calendar in detail, right? So you literally take the agenda items for each meeting you're going to have and you pray over each one. As a speaker, I often go through my sermon points or my PowerPoints for presentations I'm giving in the corporate world, and I actually pray those particular things into my audience. Now, this takes time to do. It's a busy day where I'm doing maybe a full day seminar, but I need to spend time praying through the topic and saying, may this land, may this land. Then I'm blown away, but it's not a surprise when I'm in the sessions and I see God's hand and I see how God starts ministering to people, right? Now, if you have this kind of practice, you can't be praying for only 15 minutes. Okay, it's actually not enough time unless you speak in fast forward or something. It's not enough time to pray effectively through the details of your day. And let me say something to you. When you are detailed in your prayer, you tend to get more results than when you just say, Lord, bless my day. Lord, bless all my meetings. Okay? There's a greater level of faith very often when you're specific in your requests. And that's what a petition is. It's a specific request. So I encourage you to do the research, to study, to get more information about what you're actually praying about.